Hello everyone, this is WWE Gaming and welcome to the brand new installment of Future Langrisser series. This time around we're going to be covering the edition, like today's edition will be April 15, 2024. By the time of recording, today is the 11th of April. So yep, I'm in a bit of a time crunch right now, although I have a few days remaining. So anyways, bear in mind that there's maybe some information in this installment might be inaccurate. So if there's some errors in there, I will fix them through the comments below if I ever spot a single error. But as far as how each of the information I got so far, it looks pretty solid and also makes more sense for them. So, anyways, let's take a what we have in this update. So we got two new heroes as usual come to the game, and let's see who they are. And let me tell you, these two are pretty strong in their own ways. So let's see what they do. And let's see what they do and see what they do here. I didn't mean to say that twice, but anyways, here we go. So we got two new heroes. First one we got is Vilia, like Vilia. I think that's how you pronounce it, but I don't know. In Glow version, they might give her a different name, but we'll keep her as Vilia for now. And she is mage on both class. So yeah, we have like a Patricia situation here for Vilia. And the role that she has is she's a magical DPS, and also she has that one mechanic that I think this is new. I think like basically if she receives fatal damage from a physical attacker, she will not die. Instead, she gets revived and with like 20% HP remaining. So yeah, I think this is an interesting gimmick here. So is she viable? Possibly. We'll see how it goes because this is relatively new, so we're not sure if she's good or not. And the faction options she has is basically the same lineup as Celica, which is Legion of Glory, Princess Alliance, and US Legends. And I gotta say, the reason why I said like the same as Celica, it really is the same three factions. So just to let you know. And if you think about like pairing her up with Celica, yes, you can. No matter which team you're on, like especially Glory, Princess, or Yeles, you can. They're both gonna have very good synergies with each other. Like in some situations, of course, even though they both are from the same factions. Anyways, next up we got Seraphina. This is the one I was talking about. This is the one like the next level of power creep. What I mean power creep is that like I mean not necessarily in the bad way. It's just that this is another way of power overpowering your opponent. So anyway, Seraphina has an infantry and assassin class, and as you can tell, this is a physical attacker. And her main role is that she's a debuff manipulator. So you might be wondering what do you mean by that? Well, because she relies on debuffs. So yeah, in PvP, if an enemy has 4 debuffs while having deadly erosion, guess what happens? It kills the target instantly. I was thinking like, what in the world is this? Like deadly erosion. If you have deadly erosion, it basically means like if you have 4 debuffs, you're basically dead. Like there's no defending against that. Because if you have 4 debuffs on you, you could imagine that you are basically a goner. So in order to prevent this from happening, you're gonna need someone to prevent debuffs. Like for example, Rosenseal or even anybody with Gospel. So yeah, you can tell this is going to be dangerous. And also, the daily erosion thing is not going to be resistible. So if you try to resist it with gospel, it's just not going to work. And also poisoning as the other one, but that's like not as deadly as the daily erosion. Yeah. So if your unit have daily erosion, hope to pray that you don't have 4 debuffs, otherwise you're dead. So factions for Seraphina. She's part of Empire's Honor, Strategic Masters, and Meteor Strike. And I gotta say, a lot of people thought Seraphina is gonna be a Dark Reincarnation faction buffer, but sadly that's not the case. But I think this one is actually much more dangerous than just a faction buffer. But aside from the soda, but other than that, Seraphina is strong. Like if you don't know how to take care of her, oh my goodness, you're gonna have a rough time again out there, especially in PvP. But you might be asking, what if you use her in PvE? Does it still kill the enemy? Well, technically, no. It does not kill the enemy, but instead of doing like an instant kill after 4 debuffs, instead of that, she deals 5 times of the attack to the enemy as fixed damage. So that's a replacement for PvE, which honestly is not so bad. But the thing is, if you see her in PvP, then yeah, you're gonna need to watch out because she is deadly, like literally. Okay, next up, let's talk about casting pattern skill. This is the part where I talk about where some of the information might not be correct. So take this as a grain of salt. If you so yeah, don't think of this as like a finalized castings because if there are something wrong in there, I will fix them through the comments below, as well as fixing them through Wiki Grisser. Wiki Grisser, not that one, but Lang Wiki, my own server. So that way to let you know which one is correct. The Lang Wiki one is going to be like have the most accurate information. So just to keep that in mind, if it's wrong, I will fix it. Don't worry. So first off, we got Liana. Hers is pretty solid. So this one improves the act again mechanic that she has ever since the beginning of the game. So yeah, act again skill is still solely on Liana. So anyways, it's not a big surprise they gave act again a buff here. So Liana's casting makes her act again skill have like a skill range of +1 increase. So that means instead of her like doing act again from 2 blocks, she can now do it at 3, which is gonna be insane. Like that's actually huge for her. So if you could think about it, like a lot of the act again units like Sissy White and maybe Akka. No, not Akka. Akka's still 2 range. So yeah, Sissy White, for example, has like an act again that can be activated from like more than 2 blocks, right? Well, Liana essentially has something like that now with the casting skill. And also, after using act again skill on a target, it applies reinforcement and immunity to that target for 2 turns. So basically, it adds on top of the adds on top like gospel effect on there, and also regeneration for yourself after taking action, of course. So that's a nice addition for Liana. So we'll see a lot of Lianas out there for PvP. Next up, we got Werner. Werner is an interesting one. Like, you might be wondering, if Werner is already strong, why did he have his casting now? Well, the thing is, that's not entirely true. You might be thinking, what do you mean? Well, because Werner wasn't seen in PvP at this time, but although I sometimes do use him in the past, but now I got other units, he is benched for me. So I don't know if I'm going to bring him back. Most likely, but we'll see if his casting will make any changes. So, anyways, his casting does is like Repossessed Stance, which is his defensive one. This will last 1 additional turn if a crit is scored during a counter attack while in this stance. So yeah, if you got a crit on on this kind of stance, that will last 1 more turn. So that's actually quite nice. If it's true. And when attacking, if a crit is scored while in strike stance, which is the attack stance, reduces all skill cooldown by 1 turn. Which honestly, that sounds more promising than the defensive part. So yeah, if this ends up being true, then I could say Werner might have a good spot in PvP. But we'll see if the CN translators got some more information about this character because I wasn't sure if this is correct because I've been using the other ways of like translating the words from Chinese to English with Yandex, by the way. Google is terrible, just to let you know. You do not want to trust Google with a translation because some of their translations can be a bit sus or goofy in some ways. So I use Yandex because that's the most reliable one and it's free. And by the way, I'm not sponsored by them. Just to let you know, I'm just letting you know that there are other options you can do when it comes to translating. And anyways, we got Michelle up next. So her casting increases her attack and defense by 5%. When the AoE hits 3 or more enemies, applies 1 stack of Burning Flame to all enemy hits and clears the cooldown of Magic Armor Substitute skill. So yeah, basically, as long as your skill hits 3 or more enemies, this will apply 1 additional Burning Flame stacks to them, and also it resets the cooldown of the Magic Armor Substitute. So that basically means you can put multiple of those magic armor substitutes on the field. But the thing is, I think it's still only one. It's just that you will be able to summon that substitute again much quicker. So yeah, the limit I think is still one. So just to keep that in mind. And last but not least, we got Lance, the one SR character that everyone gets for free at the beginning of the game. This one is a bit confusing, the most out of the other three, because I wasn't sure if this is correct. Because at first I was thinking like, why is the translation a bit weird? Like I'm also talking about the one I use like the Yandex. Yeah, the Yandex still didn't understand what kind of characteristics are, but anyways, I try my best to attempt my translation. So this is what I got as a result. So this might change later on. So just keep that in mind. Take this as a grain of salt, like I said earlier. All stats plus 15%, except HP, when fighting in advantage. When in mixed forces, gains mobility plus 2 and restores 20% of damage dealt as the HP. On paper, this might sound believable, but again, this might not be correct. So yeah, just keep that in mind if you like consider making this as a finalized thing. Don't do that because I might end up saying something wrong and regret it later. So yeah, just let you know, I will fix them in LangWiki if I see any errors, or just put in the comments in case you guys didn't think well if you didn't have Discord, by the way. Okay, next up, let's talk about the new exclusive equipment piece. So this one, there's only one this time, just like the other update. We have Hoffman's armor. So this one, this one basically capitalizes the shield. So yeah, this one increases his HP and defense by 5%. When Shield of the Kingdom uses Glorious Garrison skill, gains the command effect. When non-flying allies move through the terrains within the defensive range, gains the chance of negating one mobility consumed. When an ally is attacked while within 3 blocks from the Shield of the Kingdom, the Shield of the Kingdom will enter combat instead, and this will last 4 turns, and it cannot be dispelled. So yeah, as you can tell, this armor piece is pretty solid for Hoffman. So we might be seeing Hoffman a lot in PvP now with this thing. It's like because his shield can now be used as a protection tank. So yeah, it could be good for some situations. But however, you're gonna need to be aware that the shields, if you're not built, you're pretty much having a weak shield. So make sure you have your Shield of the Kingdom build much. Like, of course, building Hoffman is the only way to improve the shield. But other than that, this is a pretty solid gear. And before we go, we got some additional information about the upcoming batch. So the additional information we have here is mostly the banners, of course, and also some worth noting stuff. So we got a new radar banner for Ishin and Christiane, and these two are pretty good. Like Christiane, even though she's been released for quite a while, she is still pretty good as a tank. And also Ishin, she has a hybrid of DPS and Act Again, and also support. Yeah, Ishin is also a good banner to pick up. So this is a pretty solid radar banner. Next up, we have the new Destiny banner for Precia, Sissy White, and Mariandel. So that's actually quite nice to see Precia make an appearance as a Destiny banner. So yeah, we got Roll-On, I think not too long ago. I mean, we already had Roll-On in the global side, so we might be seeing Precia again later on, but we'll see how it goes from here. We also had the Tensei Destiny banner for Licorice, Mario, and Tsubame. And then we had the Classic Destiny banner for Ledin, Rachel, and Alta Muller. And also worth noting here, Divine Awesome banner is coming in this update. And this includes all non-collab units and limited heroes, up until the update of Isolde and Jace. So yeah, Isolde and Jace are included in that banner. So yeah, if you're missing any characters in the past, that's a good banner to pick up. But beware of off banners because it's not Destiny banner after all. And last but not least, you might be wondering what's up with Captain Mac. Well, the good news is they're bringing him back as a obtainable hero once again. So, in case you guys have missed him the first time when the event ran from the 5th anniversary, do not sweat it too much because you will get another chance of getting Captain Mac. But this time you only get 60 shards for him. So, if you want him at 6 stars, which I honestly don't know why you want to do that, but I mean, if you like Captain Mac, then go right ahead. You're gonna need to do Gate of Fates. But if you already got Captain Mac the first time and got him to 6 stars, you don't need to get his Gate of Fates at all because you already got him at 6 stars. No point of doing that again. But to only for those who haven't got Captain Mac before. So yeah, if you don't have him, but if you want him to 6 stars, then you have to do Gate of Fate because 60 stars honestly obviously is not enough for 6 stars. So yeah, all you got is just the character itself, starting at 3 stars. So yeah, if you want him at 6 stars, you're gonna need to do Gate of Fate. Anyways, that's about it. So hopefully the information I put out here are very informative, and also if there are any errors I see so far, I will fix them through the comments. Until then, see y'all next time.